Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to toy-polloi and an extra bit on the MEGO CHiPs figure restorations that I've just filmed. Now when I film this video, sometimes I film bits that don't quite work out and I don't sort of want to put them in the final videos, and this video is a perfect example of that. One of the things I wanted to show was how to sort of take some of the greying out of the faces on the old MEGO dolls. You can see here this is Punch and here's a little bit grey, and I've been working on a new technique using RIT dye, and I started filming it and it did sort of work but not really enough to sort of be noticeable, so I ended up removing that section from the final video. So let's take a look at the bit I've removed. Next up we come to the common problem of the grey heads on these vintage MEGO dolls. As you can see here, Punch has gone a little bit of a sort of a greyer shade. In fact, he's still got a little bit of pink on one side there, so it's just sort of this sort of left hand side that's really taken the brunt of going grey. And actually John is not looking too bad. I don't think there's much grey going on there, it's just got a bit of paint wear. Now the common method used to fix the greying is to use a spray paint called Plasticoat and some tyre wet, and sort of dunk it in the tyre wet and then spray on the paint and leave it for a day and peel it off and then do it again and peel it off, and essentially all that is doing is dyeing the plastic. So I thought I'd have a go at actually just dyeing the plastic straight off, and here is my results. Now this John figure was about the same shade of grey as Punch here, and you can see that he's not looking too bad. He's gone back to being a sort of a flesh coloured, still a little bit patchy, but I only did this the once through the process. So what we're going to do today is have another go at this, but using Punch. And the way I did this was using some RIT dye. Now you've seen me use RIT dye before for dyeing a Max Rebo from Star Wars back to being blue, and it did work very well, so I thought I'd just give it a go again, see what happens. Really, if something goes wrong, it's probably quite easy to find a spare Punch head, so it doesn't matter if these things don't work exactly how I plan, but I thought it's worth giving it a try again because I was pretty pleased with the sort of test results I had on this spare John that I've got. Now what you do with the RIT dye is you mix it into boiled water, stir it up, and normally you would keep the water on the boil and keep it simmering, but obviously because this is quite a soft plastic I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is mix up the RIT dye and then just dunk Punch's head into it a few times, leave it for a couple of minutes and then take it out and wash it and see what colour it's gone. Just be very careful and do it a little bit at a time. And the RIT dye will also sort of slightly dye the paint. As you can see here, this is the sort of state that the hair has gone on John. It actually was a much yellower colour. This one is a very strange colour yellow. This was more of a sort of natural blonde, but you can see it's got a little bit sort of red around the edges, and also his eyes. If I pull that in, you can see the paint has gone a little bit red on there, but I was going to repaint these eyes anyway, so it's not really a problem. And with Punch, basically his hair is black, so that's no problem. We can paint that again, and he's only got a tiny little bit of white there on his eyes, so that shouldn't be a problem if we need to touch that up if it gets a little bit stained. So let's just give this a go and see what happens. So that was it, that was the RIT dye section, and the actual dyeing itself did make a difference to Punch's face. You can see there he's got a bit more of a glow to him, but obviously because his face is supposed to be a sort of darker brown colour, the RIT dye that I'd used really possibly wasn't the right colour. It's a good colour when you're doing it on a sort of normal Caucasian skin tone, but for this darker hue it didn't really work. I think I possibly should have used maybe a bit more of a yellow dye or something like that. The idea does work, but it just didn't work exactly how I wanted in this video, and as I hadn't got any other RIT dye, I thought I'd just remove that section completely. So there you go, there's a little extra sort of bonus scene that you wouldn't normally have seen in one of my videos. So hope that's been of interest, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos. You can also follow toy-polloi on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.